I have a very clear recollection of those days when I was an altar boy, kneeling with our pastor at the foot of the altar and following those old Leonine prayers at the end of Mass. We would be led in the venerable prayers of the perpetual novena in honor of Our Lady of the Miraculous Medal. These prayers are indelibly sealed in the minds and hearts of Philadelphia Catholics and Catholics beyond, who faithfully prayed and continue to pray through the intercession of the Mother of God to be delivered from the forces of evil and sin in our world. The book of Revelation, that first reading from today's Mass, captures well the principle of evil that pursues us to the ends of the earth. The harder that we work at being good, the harder we work at the life of grace. Although we know full well we will never be full of grace like Mary, we must never stop trying. But the harder we work at being good, the more determined is the dragon to drag us down. The dragon couldn't score a victory with the woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, the woman crowned with the 12 stars of Judeo-Christian progeny. But the evil one continues to wage war with the rest of us who strive to keep the commandments and to bear witness to the person of Jesus Christ. Mary would remind us that this place is awesome. It is the house of God. It is the gate to heaven. It's Mary's shrine, but it's Mary's shrine who draws us to the Lord. Mary is always the faithful disciple who shows us the way. Her fidelity and her self-awareness of her own role in the overall economy of salvation are highlighted in today's gospel. Do whatever he tells you. Today, we focus and we celebrate the Vincentian Charism and your long ministry here in the United States. Mary would be as forceful with us today as she was with the attendant at the wedding in Cana of Galilee. Do whatever he tells you. What the Lord continues to tell the Vincentians, what he continues to tell us, is to reflect on the importance of seeing the person of Christ in the poor that we encounter. Lazarus is at our door. Lazarus sits under our tables. We need to open our eyes to the radical message of the gospel, and the gospel is a radical message. Love your enemies. Imagine, love your enemies. Pray for those who persecute you and talk about you behind your back, those who would disagree with you and frustrate your work. Love them. And what about the stranger among us? Remember that you were once strangers in a foreign land. We've all been there, or a part of us has been there. Pope Francis calls them our brothers and our sisters, not illegal aliens, not people without papers. Last February, I attended a conference in Modesto, California, and on the wall of the conference hall was a big banner. It said, "No human is illegal. Do whatever he tells you. And what does he tell us to do? He tells us to feed the hungry, to give drink to the thirsty, to clothe the naked, to shelter the homeless, to visit the sick and the imprisoned. When we celebrate Mary, we remember and celebrate a great work of God. She is proclaimed blessed by all generations. And in her blessedness, the example of this faithful daughter of Abraham urges us to be the faithful disciple of her Son and to do what he tells us to do, to live that radical message of the gospel. The Lord washed the feet of his disciples, and when he finished washing them, he said, "See what I've just done? Now you go and you do the same." By extension, Mary reinforces her Son's magnanimous gesture, that washing of the feet at the Last Supper. Being bearers of the good news to the poor means then that we are foot-washing disciples, foot-washing followers of Jesus Christ. I think Mary, on her great feast day here in Germantown, would affirm you and all of us in our ministry and in our spiritual discipleship. And she will continue to show us the way. And so all together, O Mary, conceived without sin, pray for us who have recourse to you.